Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Legends Known Classics. This is episode number 32, I think it's like 26. Let me take a look at that one. It is 32-27, Doubleshot 31-21. We have Usagi trade and Team Materials trade. First up, it is the Usagi Yojimbo Saga, Book 8. Now, the website does a Book 9, but it's not available, so I'm going to be switching over to other books to cover more of this stuff. So, this book covers, collects issues 139 to 158 of the series, plus the artist and bunker stories from the Usagi Yojimbo cover special number 5, and bonus stories Saga Crew. Now, I have a couple of fun factoids related to these issues. Number one, the fact that 139 to 144, prior to this trade, I had never read these issues before. Nope. These actually were the last ones I had left to read for this whole series. And thanks to reading these Saga books, I was able to finish up reading all these Saga books released as of right now. Second fun fact. Did you know after the release of 144, this series took a 3-year hiatus? You're like, really? Yeah, really. When I officially got into the series, which was in 2015, like a lot of series at the start of the year, that's when the series came back, and it was publishing a Dark Horse for another few years. I think it's like 2 or 3 years, I think it was. And then for some reason, Stan Sakai moved to AEW for a couple years, and now he's back over at Dark Horse. As for the reason why of the switch publications twice over the course of a few years, I don't know the reason for that. I've never met Stan Sakai, so I do not know the reason for. I would love to know the reason for. Stories here are Two-Hearted Genzo, Thieves and Spies, and The Hell Screen. So, the 200 Genjo, first up we have, the stories in here are, for 200 you have the two-parter, The Murder at the Inn, 200 Genzo, Sakaru two-parter, which is a bonus story, and Ice Runners. Thieves and Spies, you have Thief and the Kanochi, which is a 3-parter. I think this one ended with quite an interesting thing where Usagi where, like, after this mission, he's like, as a thank you for helping her out, she gives him a kiss. And then Kyoko pretty much does the same thing. Actually, it's not Kyoko, it's actually Kasara. Where, like, Kasara kisses her first, like, oh, with the kiss? Like, and I'm thinking, like, Usagi, you lucky man to have these two women make out with you. And he's like, okay. First we have The Murder at the Inn, where, like, it's like there's some battling here. He's heard of some clan per se. Now, there's nothing from his past. Surprisingly, there's no Gin. There's no Konami. Yes, Konami is actually a woman who Usagi basically had a child with, and she is not here. Nope, not here. So, they basically stay at this inn, which apparently the whole thing, Murder the Inn, is that there's a murderer there, and this inn apparently was closed down, but they couldn't keep guests away because of rain. And it's a very interesting little 3-parter that they have here. And there's also, like, a cop basically brought there too. And, well, it's a very interesting 3-parter. I think these 3 chapters cover, I think it's 139 to 141 of the ongoing series. Jinzo is like 142. Usagi has the rain, and it's like shenanigans ensue. It's like the whole thing about this one is all about money. It's like, I pay you this to do that, and that's kind of. It's more like this dog gets beaten up for it. Ice Runners. It seems like this one here seems like you think Ice Runners, and you think this is a drug story. Not really. It's just transporting stuff that's cold and protecting a merchant. And of course, Saki has no choice but to transport stuff. He's not charged with smuggling this stuff per se. He does get into some fights per se. There is, of course, the scene here by Lord Hibby, who is a snake. Yep. If I remember this guy is a recurring villain for Usagi. Usagi, he does show up occasionally, but he doesn't really fight him per se. He just feuding under feudal lore. And then we have Sai 2-parter, which is a bonus story they threw in here because why not? It's a fun little story here. Little mystery here. It's a fun little 2-parter. And they have Thieves and Spies. This is the one where it has the two women at the end who actually make out with Usagi. I think this is the one here that does that, which I find it to be fascinating because first is the ninja kissing him, and then the other one kisses him, and I'm surprised. Basically, the young girl, obviously she doesn't kiss her because she's like too young, but I'm surprised he's like, I like that. Yeah, he has this odd reaction after basically the mission is over. Yeah, and of course, basically, this thief and also the Kanoshi, that basically half the time they're at each other's throats, and Usagi is trying to separate them. And yeah. Yeah, this is the one where it's like, use this against it, take it and go. I hope I never see you again. Don't worry, I feel the same. And she's like, as for you, Usagi, smooch. So long. And then it's like, what was that about, huh? Oh, it's called Kiss. Apparently, first day show. Oh, really? Smooch. Not bad. He's like, what the heck just happened? He just got kissed by, well, from their point of view, two very beautiful women. And I'm sure if Game was there, he'd be like, Usagi. He'd probably approve because two women basically kissed Usagi. He'd probably be like, damn, I really wish I got kissed by a woman. That's probably Geen for you. And then we have the one-armed swordsman, which, yeah, this is basically the whole thing, a one-armed swordsman thing. I believe this is a nod to a Japanese movie. I guess that Stan Sakai basically decided to have a story loosely based on it. About a sword who's got one arm. He's also got like a blade inside of his arm, which I was really cool. Yeah, really fun story here. At one point here, the stories were just from black and white the color. Do not know the reason for it. Then we have Death of the Tea Master. And then for some reason, this weird European guy show up here. Well, he's European theme anyways because of his dress. And Usagi fights him and beats him because the guy apparently was entertained by the guy he's there with committing Shinpan. Toes like, I should see you again. Nope, not really. And of course, Usagi battles him and beats him after a pretty brutal fight. In fact, he's cheating too. And he just dies on the spot. Yep. Then we have The Bride, where it's like, yeah, Usagi has to help out this woman. You think, oh, is upcoming wedding? I believe there is. Yes, there's a wedding. And the wedding is like called off, and then we have the epilogue, and then she goes home, and then we have the hell screen. Yeah, this whole thing with the hell screen, I think it's like there's this like treasure behind this fake painting, and that's kind of the basis of the hell screen thing. Mm-hmm. And it's a quick little two-parter. I thought this was also a really good story arc here. Mm-hmm. Because Saga himself does excellent work. He also battles 2 Kappa. Yes, 2 Kappa in this story. No, it's nothing related to Turtles at all. Also, I love this shot here when they finish the story. It's a wonderful wonderful sketch here by Stan Sakai, because he writes and draws this damn thing. And then we have the next story here involving Usagi saving a ninja who actually can partial bat. And he's basically, it's called Kasame. Yes, it's a very interesting standalone story. He helps her out here, but she doesn't die per se. Actually, she does die. She just falls over and dies. And then we have the Secret to Hell screen, which is about the painting thing. Mm-hmm. Later on here, they switch the color because it's the color classic thing. It's the color special they basically put here dead last. Mm-hmm. I think Stan Sakai was preparing the move that maybe the book over to IDW for some reason. Maybe the reason why he switched over is, this is my personal theory, I think that IDW must have made an offer he couldn't refuse, so he switched from Dark Horse IDW. Then my guess is, a couple years he must have just a 2-3 year contract with them, and maybe they switched up. I don't know. I'm just hypothesizing about this. I'm guessing what probably happened was that he must sign a contract with them, and my guess contract was expired. That's my personal guess, but I don't know. If I get a chance, man, I'm going to ask him about why in the world would these publishers keep changing. Like, first it's Fantasy Comics, then it's Mirage, then Dark Horse a long period of time, then I did it in Dark Horse again. I'm sure he has answered that question, so... We have a story called Fate of the Elders, which is basically a bunch of older people. And then we have the artist. This is actually the first one color here. Which, this is where we see Usagi, where his top part of his alpha is blue. Just like in the covers. Mm-hmm. It's a quick little two-parter involving him befriending an artist who actually does die at the end of the story. Then you have Variety, where he's basically fighting off against what appears to be zombie samurai warriors, which is interesting. And that's it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great stuff here. And basically, when I like I said before, when I had finished reading this, I'm like, I just cut up with reading this whole series, which that's indeed true, because I had read from 145 forward with the series, and like one small of issues before that. And I've also read the Mirage run, and I read the Fan Comics run, but I did not read the Dark Horse run. But now I have read the whole thing, but I'm going to continue reviewing it. I give that book a 10 out of 10. Next up we have is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. Also, excuse me, because the fact that the website here I use to get these books doesn't have book 9 available, so but they do have the 2 or 3 books that they reprint issues from. I'm going to get those. So next up, basically, this one here, the Stephen T. Adventures, it collects issues 5 through 8 of the series. Or basically, this is done by, written and drawn by Carrera and Ryan Brown. Ryan Brown was actually, I think he was also the main artist on the TMNT title. So, I guess Archie must borrow from Mirage. It is just a standalone issue. There's a little bit of people from Rocksteady doing their own silly stuff here. And all about this fish thing. And I'm going to have to stop right here. Okay! So, I have to stop right here because supper's ready. So, I will be back to discuss the very next part of this trade.